this is Chandanni with WeDharma.com. Tonight I have a very special gift for you all. I have the great privilege of introducing you to my beloved Ayurveda teacher, Dr.Light. We've known each other for a number of years and she's journeyed with me through my motherhood years that I'm still undergoing, happily and challengingly. And I wanted to formally introduce her to the WeDharma family circle, the great privilege of having you in my home for this short period of time while you're in town. And the embodiment of who you are is so dense and so immense that it kind of floors me to start asking you questions.
Well, you know, my journey began because I got sick. And for many people, that's their journey. I really rebel against all Ayurvedic and yoga of my lineage, of my family background, because my grandmother was an Ayurvedic herbalist. And as a child, I wanted nothing to do. Not that I didn't want anything to do with natural medicine, but I wasn't going to follow that path. And I got sick. I was a naturopathic doctor, became a naturopathic doctor. That illness wasn't going any better. I became very allergic to everything, allergic to the environment. And my mother says, you know, naturopathic medicine is not working. I think you need to go to India and receive panchakarma. And that was my beginning journey of going back to my roots, you know, where I really got to see the healing that takes place when you do panchakarma, which is it's a level of detoxification. And when I finished my panchakarma after 21 days, I said to the doctor, he says, I want to learn this, you know, where do I go to learn this? And he says, you just have to come back, you know, and learn from me. Because I was already a doctor, I didn't have to go to school. I was very fortunate that way. So I did a Gurukula program, which means extended family. I became part of what he did every day, and when I was there. And for 2 years, I went to India, you know, to learn and to study. It's really interesting because everything that I do related to healing is because somebody got sick. Like my husband and I became doctors because our child was sick. And we got so many different answers from allopathic medicine, from naturopathic medicine, from chiropractors, from nutritionists. Nobody knew what was wrong with this 2-year-old. And it was something as simple as my milk was acid and I needed to stop nursing. So therefore, that's when my journey began into healing. I integrate everything into that I learned so far, not only naturopathic medicine, I'm learning about vitamins, into my practice. Because my practice is not just about, you know, getting somebody well, but it's about them taking responsibility for the wellness. So in my practice, a lot of what I do is I educate people. I train them how to take care of themselves. Which I think is, if you learn to take care of yourself, then you depend on no one. Of course, something is happening or you need surgery, you're going to go to a doctor. But if you have a disease that you don't know what to do, you're going to go and get support and advice from a doctor. But in general, it's all about taking care of yourself on a daily basis. And Ayurveda is a science of prevention, science of life, being able to take care of yourself, see life as an experience, as a journey. And I do believe that when you begin to work with the integration of mind, body, and spirit connection, your life begins to unfold and you begin to heal.
What do you feel is the most powerful universal aspect of Ayurveda?
Definitely, it could be at the top of our healthcare system. It could be our national medicine, it could be the world medicine, because Ayurveda teaches us about eating through the seasons, teaches us how to take care of ourselves by doing Abhyanga self-massage. It teaches us how to add medicine to our daily routine, to our dietary, you know, what we eat, you know. Eating out also for the body type, as you know, Ayurveda says that one man's poison is another one's medicine. So therefore, when we begin to see the opportunity to integrate what's best for us, when we have an imbalance, when we have something that's like a headache, when we begin to take foods away that don't agree with us, that the body begins to heal. So life, and that doesn't mean we don't eat other things. It means, like I always say to you, Chandanni, this is what we eat most of the time that counts. So if we're eating certain foods that feed our immunity, that feeds our body type, For example, the Vata type people, they need roots, they need things that really ground them. And the Kapha and Pitta people do very well with salads and a little bit of raw foods. So when we begin to listen to everybody's individual needs, we begin to heal.
Do you feel that the crisis of the world, from the tragic occurrings in our environment, in our space, to the most intimate, interpersonal relationship problems, can be resolved through this ability of us to really study ourselves as individuals and harness the most detailed well-being of our own mind, body and spirit?
We've been dealing with issues for hundreds of years, and look at the condition we're in. It really hasn't helped us to be busy helping others if we cannot help yourself. I strongly believe that first you help yourself, your family, and then you can go out into your community, and then you can go out into the world. A whole person is a person that gets up in the morning and does some form of exercise, have a meal according to their body type, starts the day with the family in meditation, some form of harmony in the home, where everybody's integrating prayer, meditation, some form of chanting. You know, one of the exciting things about being in your house for me is the chanting is going on from the moment you wake up. And then I think the children begin to absorb, and the magnetism of the music integrates who they are.
How do you integrate Ayurveda into the 21st Western society?
I think it begins with eating as natural as possible and eating seasonally. Being aware that eating watermelon in the winter doesn't make sense, and eating cold grapes in the winter and salads doesn't make sense. I think following the seasons is a good way to begin. You know, Ayurveda is a common sense science. If you're cold, and it's cold outside, you don't want to start the morning with cold cereal. So of course I will say that the beginning of the integration is to have a warm cereal in the morning. And if you're one of those people who is on the run, put hot water on your shake, you know, instead of cold water, or cold milk, warm your milk. So simple things like that could be changes. And you know, Ayurveda will say do not eat meat, or you should be a vegetarian. I think people should follow what they are, you know, and when I teach the foods, I always say, always remember people's indigenous foods. You integrate it, you begin to look at what is natural out of my diet. But we have a society now which is all about eating hamburgers or getting something out of a box in the morning so mom can go to work. And people ask me, well, how do I begin? Begins at night just before you go to sleep. Get the children to chop their vegetables. I think with the busyness of our society, having a crock pot is very useful. You know, I remember when children were small, you asked me about my challenges. I was a working mother at times. Most of the care of my children was done by my husband and I. So I will come home and there was always food on the table. We have dal or something warm that they could eat right away. They could go and do whatever they wanted to do in their rooms, play. And then I will prepare like some fresh vegetables for them. At night, they were part of preparing that made them very aware of foods. Like my oldest son is a chef, and he always says, you know, my mom taught me how to cook it. And I think learning about spices really early for children particularly. For us, because nobody taught most Americans about spices. But I think understanding spices is really important. And what spices grow in the different seasons. And of course, Ayurveda uses a lot of spices that come from the East. But they're here for a reason. They were imported for a reason. Into the fall, the roots are near. We want to eat more roots for, like, nothing like a butternut. I noticed you have a butternut squash, and I've been tempted to make like a coconut butternut squash soup for the kids at night. What more nutrition than that for them?
A coconut water butternut squash soup.
Yes.
We'll get on that tomorrow.
We'll get that tomorrow. That will be great. And also, having some warm foods at night for the kids. Like a little tea, a little warm tea with almond milk or whatever milk.
Well, the
is
other
in
night I
choice.
made a really lovely tea with, you just said, oh, you don't have ginger tonight, why don't you make it with some cardamom and some cinnamon? And I just brewed some hot water and sprinkled some cardamom and cinnamon, and my little boy drank it, and I put some maple syrup to sweeten it, and I had a sip, and it was just so comforting, and it put him right to sleep.
Nutmeg, particularly a bit of nutmeg for the children at night. For us too, if we had when I have a stressful day, I always have like a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg with
Nutmeg.
If you have headaches or backaches, it's something really good that's also very helpful. So at night, if I'm feeling a little bit overworked, I might do a little saffron and a little bit of nutmeg with a little bit of almond milk and a little bit of sweetener too. You know, I don't like to eat honey at night, but I like to have like maple syrup, which is kind of calming and soothing to the nervous system. Or a little bit of jaggery, which I find to be an exceptional food because it has all the minerals that we need to calm our nervous system.
Do you see now? She's our genie in the bottle, and we just give a little rub once in a while, and she appears. Our beloved Dr.Light Miller. And if you'd like to have any more information, please go to ayurvedichealers.com and tune in to listen to the incredible sage, goddess, divine, Dr.Light Jyoti Miller, my beloved teacher.
Thank you, my love.
Thank you.
A lightning flash across the sky. I'm looking in your hazel eyes. I'm looking